everyone, this is Dan and the Future Holds Crypto. So I thought that it would be time for a short video. First of all, happy Thanksgiving if you are celebrating this. And second of all, it is Black Friday, as you can see, and unfortunately it's also, or fortunately for some people, are also in crypto. This is also happening to crypto, and we see low prices everywhere. If we go here, we'll see a big drop in everything from top to bottom. Some took a bigger hit than the others, but I'm gonna try to keep this video short. I don't think this is something to let's worry about, and of course I received a lot of questions that should I sell, whenever a friend asks me something like this. In situations like this, I tell them, if you feel like you should sell, probably you should buy or at least hold. And I've done this so far. It worked pretty well on the long term, mid to long term. And I think this is one of those situations. You shouldn't get panicked. And well, it's not one of the best moments to buy crypto, but it might be one of the last good moments to buy crypto in this cycle, because you know that this cycles, from my perspective, began at least from March 2020. That we had very good opportunities until then. We have a big period of accumulation, but definitely what I want to show you a little bit on the charts, a few things that I noticed. By the way, this is not financial advice. I'm just trying to ease your mind, let's say, because a lot of people are stressed because of this price drop, especially since, you know, the talks with Moonvember and stuff like that. Of course, December is not in, and I think that we still have a chance for run in December, but you shouldn't try to time the market, really. What I wanted to show you are a couple of things. First of all, you can see here that we have the SPY cycle top indicator, and the SPY cycle top indicator has a very good accuracy for Bitcoin in showing tops. It managed to pinpoint this one from April, the 2017 one, and both from 2013, from March or April and December. And historically speaking, during Thanksgiving and Black Friday, we do have dips in general, but this is a little bit more dramatic than usual. I have to say that, but it shouldn't be a problem. So you can see here we are not even close to the pi cycle top. These two moving averages should basically intersect, and we have some way to go. Besides this, the hash ribbon indicator, which is a very good indicator to show us when the trend is changing, as you can see here, and I was talking on this channel about it. When I saw these two coming together, I told you guys that this trend is about to change from a downward trend to an upward trend. And of course, I mean, not of course, but in this situation it worked. I mean, it showed correctly, and it has a good history so far in accuracy. So we are still not intersecting here, and in the past, as you can see, we came close to a couple of times. Even here we came a little close, we just went back up and stuff like that. We struggled a little bit here. In this case, we're not close to that happening yet. So that's another thing that shows that this is not yet something to worry about. Another thing is that I noticed something interesting. As you know, this was discussed on the internet a lot of times, but this is a week of distribution pattern, and you know that Wyckoff was the first one that managed to saw this pattern when big players play with the market. And it's funny because it makes a lot of sense. Bitcoin had reached more than 1 trillion market cap, and big players are interested to play, right? And we started to see patterns like this. It makes sense. What is interesting is that this pattern seems to be repeating, but in a smaller time frame. As you can see here, this is something similar, but at a very small or smaller time frame. Even the next one, the current one that we have here, this is similar again, and it seems to be repeating. It seems to become a little bit smaller. So as you, this is basically an uptrend here, and it is very interesting because we are closing in very to this resistance. So it's very interesting to watch in a couple of days to see if we hold this pattern. But I think we have a good chance that we will. And if we repeat this again, we might see another pattern similar to a Wyckoff pattern, maybe even smaller. Don't necessarily look on the time frame, because it can be different. It can be smaller than the previous one with slower targets, but definitely it can repeat. And this is funny because I put this a couple of days back on the chart, and it seems that it went exactly as we're very close to this pattern. At least we'll see how it goes from now on, but this is a repeating pattern. And this is something interesting because I've seen this for example with Ethereum. If there's a tendency from asset to asset to have some repeating structures when it goes in an uptrend, for example. And you can see here there's a repeating pattern with Ethereum on the uptrend. That it happens a lot in the last one as well. And with Bitcoin we might have this because we already have two. Let's see if we have the third. It will be interesting to see what's going on, but just showing you this. So don't take into account the price levels, but let's look at let's say if we keep this low, if it would make sense. I mean, I'm not sure it would be, if we reach this price, for example, it would actually be the 2.618 fib extension. Might make some sense, right? But we can also go lower to something like this, to a 1.68 extension, or even lower to something like this, when 1.2 extension related closer to 72,000. So we'll have to see what's going on, and especially in time and price targets. But and also another indicator that I'm watching is, for example, the exchange withdrawals or deposit. We don't see any movements like similar here to here. It's still not something dramatic. Also, if we look at the net unrealized profits on the on-chain data, historically speaking, if you look here, when we reached the 0.75 target, which is basically represents euphoria or greed, it marked a top. As you can see, it goes a little bit lower with each cycle. So this was basically the 2011, then 2013. Both of the peaks were both peaks were actually very well represented by this. 2017, and even here we reached, we touched this line right here, and then we fell. We're not close to that. We still have some room to grow. It doesn't mean that we really need to touch it again, but we are too far away from it. And from my perspective, this is not financial advice. And another indicator, which I'm saying this half joking, but we have the magic trio. We have Peter Schiff, who's saying that the bear market has finally started, right? Even a clock is right 2 times per, a broken clock is right 2 times per day, right? And besides Peter Schiff, we have Bloomberg that's saying Bitcoin enters a bear market territory as risk asset plunge on new COVID variant. And oh, that's not Blue, it's CNBC. And we also have Bloomberg who's saying Bitcoin tumbles 20%, entering a bear market. So we have CNBC, we have Bloomberg, and we have Peter Schiff saying that we're entering a bear market. This, from my perspective, is a very strong bottom indicator. Um, you know how things go, and this is no conspiracy theory. It's you can watch the charts, you can watch the news, and you can see that basically it's not illegal for them to do this, and they do it very often. So what do they do? Whenever you have an increase in price, you will see news like time to buy Bitcoin. Everything will explode. Bitcoin is going up forever. Bitcoin is the greatest thing ever. Whenever it has a dip, you see other types of news. Sell Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to zero. Bitcoin is entering a bear market. Time to sell. And who does buy in those buy period? The big guys like Grayscale, PayPal, Cash App. In the next one, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, etc. This is the game they play it all the time. It seems to be legal. They don't have any problem with this. I mean, it is very annoying that they're doing this, but from some perspective, it's a good thing because it's a very easy thing to spot. So if you spot it, it's like having a cheat sheet. Basically, you know how you can be ahead of most of the other participants in the market. You just have to do the opposite or believe the opposite of what they're saying. So there you have it. This is another thing that is bullish from my perspective. So yeah, it's a very it's very important for you to manage your emotions, not to become emotional. I have a lot of friends that lose um, trust in some very good assets with good fundamentals because they have seen the price tumble. Assets like Cardano, things are really really good from a fundamental perspective, but they lose faith because of the price. Price in crypto is not based on utility yet, it's based on speculations. And from my perspective, if you hold a good project, when you see something like this, if you have done your research, you know the fundamentals, disregard the price at that point, or actually be happy, take the opportunity and buy more, right? This is the right thing to do. From my perspective, and this is what I'm doing, not necessarily buying now because I have bought in 2020 lower prices, but in general, and I felt this a lot of times, even if when I bought in 2020 when all of the markets were down, it was a really hard thing to do because there was fear everywhere, but I did it and it paid off. So whenever you feel fear like this, do the opposite of what uh, uh, your monkey brain is saying, or lizard brain. Don't flee. Just hold or buy more. Be patient. That's the most important thing. And I think that this market will recover. I might. I don't see any top indicators anywhere. I don't know exactly when. Nobody can time the market perfectly. I can say that December might be a good month, maybe the end of December, maybe in the beginning of next quarter. But this is just speculation or a guess. So, based on some data that I've seen, but this is it. So, I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys have a very good weekend. Enjoy the Thanksgiving and have a great one. Bye.